Bitcoin Cash is still the best performing large cap coin over the last month. So what will it mean for the crypto going forward? Who better to ask than Bitcoin Jesus himself? Roger Ver joins us on the phone from Bangkok, where he's at, of course, a Bitcoin conference. Roger, great to have you back.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me again.
So explain to us what exactly will happen with this update, and why do you think the coin traded lower into the update?
I think it's good to call it an update rather than a fork, because there was no fork. It was just simply an update to make room for even more people around the world to be able to use Bitcoin Cash as money and in commerce for the world. That's what actually gives it its underlying value, is that you can use it in commerce to pay for things, whereas a lot of these other tokens out there have just kind of turned into speculative assets that don't actually have any utility. Whereas Bitcoin Cash is targeting being used as money for the entire world. And just last night, we were at the Bitcoin Center Thailand, where you can literally pay in Bitcoin Cash for your meal and beer and coffee and all that sort of thing. And it's really, really popular here in Thailand. And then tomorrow I fly to Hong Kong for the B-Commerce conference put on by the Canadian billionaire Calvin Ayre, who's all in on Bitcoin Cash as well, because he realizes that it has usefulness as money for the world. And that's what we're busy building. So the entire point of the upgrade was to make room for the entire world to be able to use Bitcoin Cash as money. And right now, Bitcoin Cash has somewhere around the ballpark of 30 times the transactional throughput capacity of Bitcoin Core at this point. So if you're a business looking to build infrastructure upon a cryptocurrency, Bitcoin Cash looks like the best choice, because it has room for you and all your friends to come on board the Bitcoin Cash bandwagon.
When you compare the transaction speeds, Bitcoin Cash is clearly built for transactions, but at this point, the liquidity is in the other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin as well as Ethereum, and a lot of platforms are being built out in emerging markets, for instance, based on Bitcoin, because they want to go to where the cryptocurrency that has liquidity. At what point, Roger, do you say, you know what, in order for Bitcoin Cash to really catch on, it's got to have a critical mass in terms of liquidity and market cap?
Well, remember that the Bitcoin Cash market cap and price today is more than what Bitcoin Core's was just one single year ago. Back when there was only one Bitcoin at that point. They split into both Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Cash on August 1st of last year. So the fact that Bitcoin Cash has a bigger market cap than Bitcoin did just a year ago, that's a pretty darn bullish sign. You have just about the same amount of merchant adoption for both. All the big boys like Coinbase's and blockchain.info and BitPay's also have full support for both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core. And all the new innovation is taking place on top of Bitcoin Cash. It's no longer taking place on top of Bitcoin Core. And that's why you see all of these existing businesses building their new products on top of Bitcoin Cash. Just like myself as the CEO of Bitcoin.com, we're building all of our new infrastructure, and all of our focus is on building on top of Bitcoin Cash because it actually works, whereas Bitcoin Core at this point, sadly, it breaks my heart to say this, but it's slow, expensive, and unreliable. And it's that by intentional design of these core developers that managed to fork the economic code of the project and take it in a completely different direction than the path that it was on that originally made it into this worldwide phenomenon and success that it is today. So if you change the economic code, you're going to change the economic outcome, and that's what they've done with Bitcoin Core. And the economic path that Bitcoin Cash is on is the one that led to Bitcoin's original success. So that's why I'm incredibly bullish on Bitcoin Cash for the exact same reasons I was bullish on Bitcoin back in 2011 when I became the first investor in the world to start investing in this space.
Hey, Roger, so it seems like Bitcoin Core, the thesis around owning it is really that store of value. And it seems like you're making a pretty strong case that you want to use this as a currency. That's not something people are really talking about with Core. What is the inflection point where we're going to start seeing this? You talk about people are using it in Bangkok to buy coffee. When are we going to see it here in the United States? Because that's really something that could cause U.S. investors on their Coinbase accounts to start really thinking about it the way you're thinking about it.
It's already happening. So Coinbase is already accepting Bitcoin Cash for payments in their merchant processing platform. You can already buy Bitcoin Cash in your Coinbase account. You can spend Bitcoin Cash with any merchant that's accepting BitPay as their payment processor. It's already happening all over the world. And when you look at all these people that are busy trading digital assets, or let's take traditional stocks, the reason people trade traditional stocks is because these are companies producing a product and hopefully they'll have dividends someday and they're actually engaged in economic activity. When people say that Bitcoin Core should only be used as a store of value, well, what is it that you're storing if there's not anything that it can actually do? Whereas with Bitcoin Cash, people will be interested in using it as a store of value because you can spend it anywhere as cash, just like people use the U.S. dollar as a store of value because you can spend it anywhere as cash. And if you take away the spendability of Bitcoin Core, you destroy its usefulness as a store of value as well.
In terms of Wall Street's acceptance of Bitcoin Cash, Roger, how important is that to your thesis that Bitcoin Cash will gain that critical mass and maybe even someday surpass Bitcoin Core in market cap? I mean, are you looking forward to the day? Do you think if Bitcoin Cash futures were traded, it would help with acceptance? Things like the steps like that?
Of course, that's very important.
Are you lobbying?
I mean,
is there a way to lobby for that? Are you doing that yourself?
I'm sure there's lots of people out there lobbying it, and we just saw the Winklevoss exchange, Voss's exchange, launch full support for Bitcoin Cash on their exchange as well. So it's happening fast and furious around the world. Bitcoin Cash adoption is happening. Despite all the names calling and vitriol that's happening on the internet, Bitcoin Cash works as money. Bitcoin Core sadly no longer does, and I have a fantastic example of that for anybody that's not sure. I received my very first Bitcoin ever from what's called a Bitcoin faucet, which is just a website that gives out a little bit of Bitcoin to anybody who wants it. That's no longer possible on Bitcoin Core, but anyone anywhere in the world who goes to free.bitcoin.com will get about 15 cents worth of Bitcoin Cash for free. That's possible on Bitcoin Cash today. That's impossible on Bitcoin Core. So I invite people to give both Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Cash a try. And it'll be clear to them which one's useful as money and which one's not.
Last quick question, Roger. Got to get a prediction from you. Where will Bitcoin Cash be in a year? Where will Bitcoin be in a year?
I think both of them will be higher than where they are now, but I think Bitcoin Cash will have much, much more significant gains than Bitcoin Core.
You want to give us a number?
I think Bitcoin Cash will double by the end of the year. I think Bitcoin Core maybe will be up another 10, 20, 30%. That's just a guess, of course.
Okay. Roger, great to speak with you. Thanks for your time.